but you'll get it. So we're going to take our mama brush. We're going to dip that into the dirty white. So that's going to be the white mixed with the blue. Going to lightly tap some of that off. And we're going to just imagine how we would want the wisp of snow to be. Either you want it like in an S, you want it like a complete swirl. It really doesn't matter. Just as long as you create something that you like. So I'm going to try to do a swirl this time. Let's try that. I'm just going to lightly tap. Now that we have the beginning part of our snow swirl, we're going to thicken it up. So the beginning portion is going to always start off thin, and then it's going to thicken up, and it's going to wisp around the back of our snowman like it's just taking him away. So just going to lightly add that in, just like so. Don't be afraid. Going to tap on both sides, and it's not going to be perfectly symmetrical. Please don't try to count the dots. Just tap them on and have fun with it. And tap, tap, tappity tap. You can sing a little song if you want. You can think about your Christmas gifts. Whatever you want while you're tapping away. And then you're going to lightly just bring that down toward the tree. So that means make fewer taps. Just barely. Don't add too many, because then it's going to look like some snow flies are coming to swarm and attack your village. You don't want that. You want it to look like it's just wisping away, like the wind is taking the snow around the moon. Just like that. And when you get to a comfortable point, you can stop, or you can add some highlight to it by just dipping into the white without cleaning your brush, of course. And if you notice, we don't clean our brush much. We just utilize the paint that's on our brush. And now we're going to create the moon. So we're going to use the dirty white, which is going to be the blue and white, but we're going to take a little bit of black. A little bit. Teeny weeny bit of black. So you're going to dip that into the white first, then a tiny, tiny prick of black. Just like so. You can barely see it. That's what we need. So you're going to tap that onto the plate first to make sure it's not too dark. Then we're going to tap that right there in the center. Try your best to make a nice little circle. And if you don't like the way that looks, you feel like your moon looks a little too crunchy, just make a little circle. And there's your moon. And the next portion, lastly, finally, the snowman. So we get to dip that into the white, the same mama brush. Now we would have done it with the daddy brush, but we want to make sure that the scale and proportions are right for the size that we're aiming for. So we're going to create the first circle, as you can see in the original one, kind of close to the tree, about the size of an Oreo. We all like Oreos. Let's go ahead and make that. Nice little swirl. Just like that. Nice smooth little swirl. And if you feel like it's too many strokes, just lessen your pressure. It means kind of draw back from the canvas and just utilize the tip of your brush, or you can try to apply some more paint to make it more smooth. Which me, I like the strokes. Kind of looks like they roll the snowman together. Now, the next thing, we're going to make another circle, but just a bit smaller. Not too small, but you know, kind of like this is the large one. We're going to make the medium one. So literally right on top, kind of collapse them together like they're stuck together. Don't want them floating, just like so. And the next one is going to be the head, which is going to be the smallest circle. So as you can see, the head is slightly smaller than the torso or the little upper body part. So we're going to just add that right on top and collapse it together, meaning kind of bring it down into the circle. All right, so the next step we're going to do is going to be to add the details into our tree, like the little tree trunk area right here at the bottom. So some of you guys may only have primary colors like black, white, red, yellow, and blue, but I'm going to show you how to make brown just in case you don't have it. So here I have my red, my yellow, and my black. So I'm going to take a nice dip of red, and I'm going to take a nice dip of yellow, stir that together until it makes orange. Very important, it has to make orange. If it's just like red with tiny hint of yellow, it's not ready. Gotta make sure that you add that in, stir it, and make sure it looks like orange. Add as much as you need, and I think that's about ready. Then you're going to roll your brush. Whenever you're mixing colors, make sure to roll your brush unless you're using it as texture. So we're mixing this as a whole color. So that means take your brush, the remains, roll your brush into the center to remove all of the paint that is not mixed, and stir it again. Now, once you have the orange, you're going to take your brush and get a tiny bit of black, just a little bit. I'm going to add little by little. So we're going to take the black, add into the orange, and we're going to tap it in. The reason why we're going to tap it is because it's going to isolate the paint from spreading. So say for instance you had too much black and it goes green. You can easily stop there, clean your brush, grab a smaller amount, go to the opposite side, and then begin to mix again without disturbing the whole mixture and having to pour more paint. This makes it a bit easier. So as I'm tapping, I'm seeing that I'm getting brown. So I'm going to take my brush and make sure I tap enough together so that way I have the desired amount to do what I need to do. Then you're going to take your brush, going to grab that brown, just like so, and you're going to go right at the base and going to do 2 strokes, 1 and 2, cap it off. Again, 1 and 2, cap it off, and you have brown. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to add our candy canes. So that's going to be with our baby brush. We're going to take that, make sure that you dip it into the water, of course. Then you're going to dip that into white, and then just the tip into red. So I'm going to show you a quick way to make small scale candy canes by lightly rolling your brush. So you're going to take your brush. You're going to start off with the top part of the candy cane, which is an upside down J hook, just like so. And then once you get that, you're going to take your brush, lay it down, and drag. Now sometimes it doesn't do it all the way. Maybe you don't have enough paint, like I did. So you're going to dip back and drag again. And that's going to give you your first candy cane. So we're going to continue to do that. Make sure that each time that you dip into the red, into the white, you clean your brush, because you might have picked up the green since we haven't blown dried our canvas yet. So you're going to dip the red, then the white, make your candy cane, rinse your brush, do it again till you get your desired amount of candy canes. So I'm going to add maybe 3, because this one's kind of big. This one is about the size of a small baseball bat. So yeah, we're going to make sure that we don't add them too big, but you definitely want to know that that is a candy cane. And just in case if you have an area that doesn't look so candy cane-esque, you just dip back into the red or the white and add it in. And then each time, just dip again. I think I might want to aim down here and drag. And just in case, doesn't look too much like a candy cane, you can always go back and add more color. Great thing about acrylic paint is you can always blow dry it or let it dry, come back to it and paint over the whole entire thing. So next thing we're going to add are going to be the little red bulbs, which are just simply red circles. We're just going to take our brush, dip that into the red, get a nice amount, and just doop, add 1, doop, add 2, and add 3. Just like that. And then clean your brush. Now, as you can see, we have a star. So we're going to add that star just simply by dipping into the yellow and the white, of course, because you want to have a nice strong pop of yellow. You're just going to down left, down right, up left, over right, down left. Hopefully I said that right. Let's try it again. All right, so we're going to dip back into the yellow. You're going to go down left, down right, over left, over right, and down left. Then fill that in, just like that. And we have a little bit of starburst around it, which is pretty much like emphasis on the shine. So that's just a couple little yellow and white dashes. So doot, 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 doot. And now it's all shiny. So let's go ahead and decorate the next tree. So we mainly have just bulbs and some lights. So best way to make the lights, start off with one color and space it out. So you're gonna dot, space, space, dot, space, space, dot, until you get a full row. We're gonna do this about maybe 2 or 3 times, and then we're gonna go back and follow with the following colors and do the exact same thing just in between. So I like to start off with my color scale. So I start off with maybe blue. Want it to pop, so I take blue, a tiny touch of white, and then I add my bulbs. 1, 2, 3, 4. I start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and yet again. 1, 2, and 3. Now Next thing I'm going to do, since my tree is already green, I want to show emphasis on the other color so that way the tree stands out as its own presence of green. So next after blue, I'm going to do my red, and I'm not going to mix it with white since it's going to stand well against the green. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you don't have to count them. It just keeps you on scale of what we're trying to do. Now, the next one we're going to add is going to be yellow. So, just like the other yellow and white things, we're going to add yellow and white, then back into yellow, and that's called encapsulating, which is basically covering another thing with another thing to make sure that the first thing that you dipped into stays stable and inside. So we're going to add the yellow in between. Now sometimes we might scale too big. That's perfectly fine. Nobody will ever know unless you tell them. So just going to add that in, just like that. And there, you have your bulbs. And, I can't see. So this one doesn't have a star since it's our main tree. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to create the scarf. Now the scarf is just the green, so that's going to be the yellow and the blue. And this time I'm going to take a touch of white, so that way you'll be able to see it. Now, the trick with the scarf is we have to make a shadow color and we have to make a highlight color. So we're going to start off with the shadow color. So since we have the green, which is going to be the yellow, the blue, and the white mixed together, we're going to take that and touch a tiny portion of black. And this is going to emphasize our shadow color, which in art, sometimes it's good to have shadows, so that way it brings a touch of realism. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's just a technique I like to use. Now, I'm going to start right here at the neck, and I'm going to drag that down and out and wisp. Now, once you wisp that over, I'm going to grab some more paint. I'm going to start from the same promontory point, bring that down, and wisp on the side like it's flying away. Now, after you're done with that, you don't have to clean your brush, just simply push it on your plate to kind of save the paint for later. And we're going to dip back into our lighter green, and then we're going to go over that to create our secondary lines. So as you can see, it wraps around its neck, and then it has another little piece which is lighter that hangs forward as well. So we're going to drag that around the neck, just like so. Then we're going to dip back into that color, go behind it. And just in case if it picks up that darker color, just dip back into that green. And bring it down and wisp. Same way we did the first initial one. Then you're going to do the same thing, bring it down and wisp. Just like that. Now the scarf is flying away. So, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to give a bit of life to the face. So, this is a side turned face, which can seem kind of perplexing, but we're going to make it easy. So we're going to take our small brush, of course, dip that into the black, and we're going to start off with the eye. So the eye is kind of looking up into the sky. So that's going to kind of be off to the left-hand side, just like so. And then the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to add the mouth, which is going to be a side curve. So you're going to take your brush, dip that into the black, and we're going to lightly dot to scale how the smile is going to be. It's okay. Just try it. So, gonna dot, 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 and bring it up, dot. Now that may look really creepy right now, but it'll all come together. So I'm gonna take that black and rinse it off. Oh, but wait, we need to add the cold buttons. So we're gonna add our one cold button, of course. Oops. And that's gonna be right here at the belly. And while we still have the black on our brush, we're gonna make the arms, which are kind of flailing away into the sky. So this one is slightly almost to the back of him. And then this one's kind of jutting off the top of his head. So we're gonna make the arms. Don't panic. It's going to look good. So you're going to take the black, dot first. That way you can scale it. Then you're gonna take your brush, push down, drag up and out, just like that. As long as you drag it up and out, it's gonna look good. All right, and the next thing that we're gonna do is create the second arm. So right there above the head, you're just gonna bring that up and out just like so. And then you're gonna add the other portion of the hand. Kind of like he's waving like, wait. Now, the next thing we're gonna do with the black is create the hat. So as you can tell, it's a little hat just being blown away in the wind. We're gonna take our brush and we're going to make a nice little upside down U, just like so. And we're going to make a base, which is going to be a curved line, like a really lazy smile. And then we're going to paint this in black. Now remember not to make it too big because things are smaller in the distance. So you want to make sure it looks smaller than the actual snowman's head. Or if not, then he had a giant hat on. So we want to make sure that it's smaller than the actual head. Now the next thing you want to do is add the decorations to the hat, which we're going to add just a little sash, which we're going to clean our brush and dip into any color we want to. And add the little red sash around the hat.